What's up, party people? It's Keys Dan with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live and in living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous? It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do you go? DJLittleRock.com. Let me say it one more time. DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote. And maybe you can have me at your next event. Yes, I like to party with the people. Been booking lots and lots of weddings lately. Thank you so much to the brides and grooms that have booked already. I appreciate that so much that you honor me with the privilege of being at your next event, at your wedding day. That is an honor to me. You know, and I take that responsibility very, very seriously. I want your day to go as well as you do. I get nervous before every event. Should I say that? Should I say that I get nervous? Why? You know, because I care. I do. I care that it goes well. You only get one shot to perform at a wedding and get that wedding day as perfect as possible. And yeah, I get to be there. I get to be a part of the show. You're not the biggest part, because that's you, the bride and groom. You're the most important people there. I mean, people are going to be looking at the bride, you know, definitely with the beautiful dress, and then the groom. He can show up. It's mostly the bride. I find that you know, throughout the years, it has been the dress. Oh, let's see the bride in her beautiful dress. That's what a lot of girls think about, you know, as they're growing up, is getting married and having that perfect wedding day. Yeah, I get to be a part of that. Been doing that for a lot of years. You know, sometimes I think maybe I'm too old for this. Nope. I enjoy it so much. And then other kinds of parties as well. And I mean, let me tell you about who's on the show today. Oh, Shanell, Classe, Shanell the model. Ooh, have I given it away? Shanell the model? Yeah. Yes, I have a model on the show. And you get to hear a little bit about her and her story. Kind of excited about that. Yeah. All right. This week's shows, I have one public show on July 3rd, and that's this Friday, my regular Friday night dance party karaoke jam over at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. Now, this week, it being the 3rd of July, we're going to do the celebration of your independence. We'll do a lot of American music, you know, have some fun with it. Some rock and roll, some country, but you know, I'll play whatever you want. And it's a karaoke show, so you can sing whatever you want. You're the star of the show over at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. They got a full bar. The kitchen is open, pool tables. They have the pool tournament on Friday night. So if you want to make some money on a Friday night, hey, get involved in the pool tournament. You might win some money if you learn how to play some pool. You can make money with a pool cue. How about that? That's the Rab. Friday night starts at 8 p.m. And then on Saturday, it's it's Independence Day here in America, the U.S. of A. America. So we're celebrating Independence Day. I don't have any gigs booked, but I suspect I'm going to have some barbecue and watch some fireworks and enjoy being in this great country of ours. And if you're outside of the USA, I invite you. Come on in. You know, hey, maybe after the COVID quarantine is over. But, you know, I digress. All right. I think that's enough for the intro. Let's get into it with Shanell the model. Shanell Classe. All right. Let's get her on Skype. If you're just listening to the audio version of this, I encourage you to check out my YouTube channel at Keys Dan. I think the banner right now is RadioWhat.com. So either look up RadioWhat.com or Keys Dan, and you'll find my YouTube channel, and then you'll be able to see as well as hear Shanell the model. Yeah, I know I've been saying it like that. Shanell the model. All right, Skyping Shanell the model now. Shanell the model. I know I've been wanting to say that all day long. Actually, I've been wanting to say that for the last 2 weeks. I'm kind of excited to be talking to you. I know you have a lot of irons in the fire, but for those of the people that do not know who you are, let the people know a little bit about who Shanell the model is.
Yes, so I'm Chanel the model. I've been modeling for about 6 years now. I started off doing runway in college and then it just kind of grew from there. And I kept getting bigger and bigger every year. So here I am 6 years later, still holding strong.
So modeling for 6 years. Okay, so all right, man. You know, it's hard for me to talk to a woman, especially to kind of gauge her age. I'm 51 years old, and I'm not afraid to say my age. I know I used to have a problem saying to my age before I turned 50, but okay. So you've been modeling for 6 years. We'll leave it there. I'm guessing you were modeling since you were a toddler because you don't look much more than 12. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But no, you're. Did you did you have any inkling or desire to model in high school or school at all?
No. So in high school, I was running track. I was all about my academics. And I was just like, I just want to go to college. That was the big thing. I wanted to go to FSU. And I did. I went to FSU and I graduated. I have a degree in English.
Excellent.
But while I was in college, I had a little style. So they would have like these fashion runway competitions. And somebody was like, you need to do it. You need to do it. So I did it and I came in second place and I won $50. So I was like, oh, I could get a little money doing this. So it went from there. And then once I got out of college, I took a little break and I was like, okay, maybe I got into the real world,
Okay.
got my 9 to 5.
Okay.
And then when I started my 9 to 5, I was like, this is not what I wanted. Like, this is not my passion. I don't like it at all.
Mm-hmm.
So then one day I was talking to my friends and I was like, I'm just going to quit my job and I'm just going to go like model.
Just like that.
And,
I'm going to go model.
Just like that. And I talked to my boss about it and she was like, well, you would still get paid for 2 weeks. I was working at Coca-Cola at the time. And she was like, you can still get paid for 2 weeks and quit today. I said, oh, well, I'm quitting right now. So I quit. I went and found an agency, which is Jess and Anderson Modeling Agency. And I took professional pictures and then I started doing casting calls and I started off doing extra work. So being an extra for a commercial. And then it grew from there.
Well, it's good that you're giving credit where credit is due. You say you went to FSU. That's Florida State University?
Yeah.
Ah, the Seminoles. Yes, I went to Florida State for lunch. I think you cut out for a second, but no, I went to Florida State for a little bit. I went to Fire College at Florida State, which is I don't even think it has any affiliation, but Florida State Fire College. I'm from Miami, from Florida myself.
Okay.
So you're on the Georgia side, the Georgia line. So you went across the Florida line to go to school. But you're a smarty pants on top of everything else. On top of being the model, you actually filled your head with knowledge. So yeah, and what was the major again?
English.
English. Fantastic. How has that helped you in your life?
I feel like you always need English because number one, you sound smart. And specifically dealing with modeling, when you have to email, agents, you don't want to sound dumb and you don't want your grammar to be incorrect. You don't want to, because then they might think they can run all over you. Or they might think they can take advantage of you because you don't even know proper English.
That's correct.
But yeah, it helps me in that aspect all the time. And then I'm able to differentiate between what's a legit gig and what's not. And, that's something models constantly have to, look at and worry about.
Yeah. Have you had that problem before where people are trying to take advantage of you as a model?
I've never showed up to a gig like that,
mm-hmm.
But I get emails all the time that, that's like New York Fashion Week. We want you to model for Chanel, or Louis Vuitton. And it's going to pay you $500 up front. Anytime they're going to give you some money up front, it's a scam.
Really? Even if they put $500 in your hands? That's a scam.
I mean, if it's $500 in cash up front, maybe.
Okay.
But if they're like, let me deposit $500 into your account before you even show up, it's a little sketchy.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm in the DJ business, so I mean, there's definitely a similarity in creativeness and or how you get paid in a gig work. And I always ask for a deposit up front, and I always find that is even better than a contract. When somebody takes the time to give you some money, hey, that means they're making an investment in you. They're making a commitment, and that makes me feel a little bit better about showing up to that gig. Is that the same with you sometimes, or sometimes maybe not?
I only ask for a deposit if it's something out of town.
That's right.
So most of the time it's, local stuff like Orlando or something. I don't ask for a deposit. So that's where it's a little different because it's not like every single time I ask for a deposit. But if I gotta, drive a long way or make a flight, I'm definitely asking for a deposit, or I'm definitely asking for you to pay for the flight.
Well, that makes a lot of sense, Shanell. And I don't even know exactly where you are. What area are you in, and what area are you comfortable, maybe doing local modeling? What's local to you?
Anywhere in Florida.
Okay. What part of Florida are you in?
Central.
Like
Central
Orlando?
Florida. Like Orlando, yeah.
Oh, okay. I lived there for about a year back in 94, 95. Whenever Kurt Cobain died, that was the year that I was there, and I remember that was big. I was DJing on Church Street, so I remember that area very well. But you decided. Well, have you always been in Orlando, Florida? Is that your area?
Obviously I was in Tallahassee when I went to Florida State, but I've just always been in Florida. Yeah.
Okay. Where were you born?
Tampa.
Oh, okay. All right. Home of Burt Reynolds. I remember I spent some time in Tampa doing some DJing some weddings there. And I remember that there was a lot of Burt Reynolds all over the place. That was like the big thing. I mean, I miss being in Florida. Let's put it that way. I'm enjoying talking to you. Well, one reason is because you're making me nostalgic for the Florida sand, for the Florida. I mean, I guess if you're in Orlando, you're not that close to the beaches. It's about an hour away. But but growing up in Tampa, what's that like for a Shanell?
I mean, that's my home. I love it. We got Super Bowl here next year. I don't know if they're still going to do it with COVID and stuff, but it hasn't been here in a long time. So we were all, especially to be a model during that time, is hopefully going to be major.
Yeah, you think you're going to be involved in any of that? Possibly get a gig holding up a sign or something?
Absolutely.
That's fantastic.
If everything goes as planned, I'm going to be as involved as possible.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the big time. You want to be anywhere that a lot of people are. I mean, that's, I guess, I've never been a model. I've been in fashion marketing. I did that. I was in DECA when I was in high school. So I designed my clothes and I did a fashion show and I break danced on stage back in my glory days, my reckless youth. And I was involved with some modeling. I guess I was a model maybe just for that one fashion show in high school, but I really don't have the idea of, what is a model? What does it take to become a model? Is it somebody tells you you're beautiful and they say, and then you go, yeah, I'm going to use this as long as I can and make some money off of it. I mean, what's it all about?
I mean, back in the day, I might have said it was about beauty, and I might have even said it was about height, because I never, growing up, I never thought that the people in commercials were considered, models. You don't know, you're not really thinking about the fact that these people they were hired to do this. They didn't just find them on the side of the street and was like, hey, talk about this product. Like, all these people were hired. So I definitely think it takes professionalism, because they don't play about being on time. You got to be on time. They're investing their money in you. If you're late, you're interrupting the whole set.
Okay, so it's a job. It's a gig. They expect you to be in a certain place at a certain time. It's not like what you see on TV where ooh, I feel so, oh, the girls are smoking and, oh, I don't know if I want to do this now. Wait for me. They're not going to wait for you. They're going to go on to the next girl, aren't they?
Yeah, like, and Kim Kardashian talks about it all the time, how she's like, I have to show up no matter how sick I am. Once you agree, once you say yes, that is the nice part. You can say yes or no. You have that option. You can say, yes, I want this gig, or no, I don't want this gig. But once you say yes, they're expecting you to be on time and ready to go.
All right. I mean, well, let's take you back a little bit in the glory days, back in Tampa, the family life, in school, when you were an athlete, when you were filling your head with knowledge, and you really weren't even thinking about modeling, about a career in this. I mean, how was the school life? How was the family life back in Tampa?
I was very much involved in high school. Middle school, I was kind of a wild child.
How so?
I just would talk back a lot. Like I would, the typical teenager. You didn't want to listen to anybody. You don't want to be told what to do because you think you know it all. Mm-hmm. And when I got to high school, I just started thinking about my GPA and college and getting scholarships. So I just thought about all the free stuff I could have. Because, there's so many free opportunities out there for high school students. Mm-hmm. Whether it's grants, whether it's scholarships, whatever it is, you can get so much money in high school. So I was taking full advantage of that. And being on the track team, we got to miss a lot of school because we would have to travel to the track meet and we would be there all day. So that was kind of my benefit of being on the track team. Like, oh, I could go to school, but not really go to school and still make good grades,
Well, who turned you on to going to school and to being in the track team and learning about, hey, you can use this to your advantage? Somebody had to have given you that knowledge, that skill. Was it mom? Was it dad? Did you have brothers and sisters that were kind of guiding you along?
Yeah, my aunt, she was all about reading books. She was all about go to college. And it wasn't even like a no thing for me. Like, oh, maybe I don't want to go to college. It was like, oh, you got to go to college. So that was the whole thing. And everybody would be like, you should give yourself different options. And I was like, no, I'm going to FSU. Like, I don't want another option.
No backup schools, just FSU all the way?
That was it.
Wow. I mean, because you got the University of Florida there, the Gators right next door, Miami down south, U of M. Even in Central, in Orlando, they have Valencia and the what is it, USF. There's plenty of schools in Florida. I mean, yeah, if you want to go to college, you and you're living in Florida and you don't go to college, that was your fault, So you were a very smart lady to take advantage of going to school. I mean, did you get? Were you good enough in sports to where you went to a scholarship, or was it hard work all the way?
No, I actually graduated with a 4.2 in high school. But what happened was I applied to FSU and they put me on a standby.
Why?
So I didn't
4.2. What better they're going to get?
It was you're on standby. So then I was talking to one of the teachers at the school and she was like, my brother works at FSU and he can get you in no problem. And I was like, really? And she was like, yeah, they'll even pay for your first year. And I was like, what? There's this program called the CARE program, which focuses on getting minorities into the college. So she put my name on the list, and 2 weeks after I graduated, I was at FSU.
You're giving people pearls right there, Shanell. You're giving people pearls of wisdom. So, hey, look into the CARE program if you don't know how to pay for college. But my goodness, with a 4.2, you were working hard in high school. The education system in this country is just so weird. Anybody with a 4.2 coming out of high school should be like, every college should be saying, like a football player, it should be saying, hey, I need you over here. You should be the number one draft pick for school. Anything you want. My goodness, why didn't it open up like that? You had to know somebody. It was weird.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, they don't just base it off of your GPA. They base it on, did you have any community service? Did you have, well, how did your ACT look? How did your SAT look? You know, they base it on all this crap that we don't even need. And that is why I was on standby.
Shanell, I mean, did you work for it? Yeah, you cracked those books open. The teachers thought you were good enough to get a 4.2. That's
Right.
more than an A. You went that much more, point 0.2 more than people need to do. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I need to look in more on why people with that high of a GPA cannot get into college for free. You should be going to school for free.
Seriously, for free.
Absolutely. I mean, and hey, I'm not Republican or Democrat. I'm like right down the middle where most people live. But I still think, healthcare should be free and college should definitely be free if you want to go, if you have the aptitude for it. If some people just don't go to college. Some people go straight to the work market, and that's the way that it works for them, and it works for a lot of people. But I mean, with you having the book smarts, it was good that you filled your head with knowledge. But how many years did you end up going for English?
I graduated in 3.5 years.
Fantastic.
So, yeah, I didn't even, because I didn't want to pay that extra money.
No, okay, I get it. So,
they'll make you try to drag it out to the whole 4 years, but I didn't take any break. Most people go home for summertime. Mm-hmm. I was still at school doing 2-3 courses.
Hey, that's a hard worker. It says a lot about you, Shanell. I mean, people are learning right now about the work ethic of Shanell. Not just a pretty face. You have a work ethic. You're willing to work. And, the job that you got was in Coca-Cola. Hey, a fine company. Definitely a fine company. What did you do for Coca-Cola?
I was in human resources.
Okay. All right. Using your head, sitting at a computer, making sure people got jobs and got everything straight. Well, any good stories in human resources?
No, just a whole bunch of how much is my check.
Why is my check so small? Why?
How much, right? Or I didn't get my check.
I didn't get my check. You don't work here anymore.
Right.
Did you have to give anybody that news? Oh, you don't work here anymore. I'm sorry.
No, it was normally like maybe he didn't fill out his paperwork properly.
Gotcha.
Simple stuff.
Well, human resources. Hey, it's a job. It got you through. It put money in your pocket, but it wasn't your passion. It wasn't what you wanted to do.
No.
But you had an idea that you can do this modeling. Now, let's go back to the first time that somebody said, "Hey, what was that $50 thing? That you went into a contest or something? What was it?"
Yeah, it was like a fashion contest. So you had to change up your style every time you went down the runway and make it creative but cute.
Like your own style, or did you have somebody? Were you wearing somebody's stuff?
No, there was one outfit. I took a belt and made it into a bra. And I had on like some jeans. Like, you got to get creative. You got to get creative.
All right. Where's the videos for this fashion show? What year was this?
Many moons ago.
Okay. You said 6 years ago. That's that was that when that started? Or was it before that?
This is probably like 8 years ago in college. Like, I think, yeah. It was about 8 years ago.
So was that one of those wacky college things? Was that a note that was up on the bulletin board and it said, "Hey, come on out and try for this fashion show"? How did you get involved in that?
No, it was my friends that were part of they call it a modeling troupe. So different modeling organizations within the college. And they were like, we need people to come participate because nobody really wants to, be in front of a whole bunch of people walking down a run. If you're shy, that is not for you. And so I was like, I don't really want to do it, but you convinced me.
Oh, okay. It's one of those. It is one of those college things where you have a group of friends that's going to get you into something, and that's an adventure that you had in college. So so fantastic. But so that was a good experience. Nothing bad came out of that. How many times did you go down that runway?
Oh, I got like really involved after that, and we started to do our yearly. They call it the annual runway fashion show. in front of at least 400 students.
That's cool. But with that first one, how many outfits did you have to wear? How many times did you go
normally it's 1 or 2. I never did over 2.
Okay, so you did the belt and the jeans. That's crazy. That sounds. It was a thick belt or was it a little tiny belt?
It was a thick one. It was a thick one.
All right. Well, it was covering all the right parts. I get it. Now, what was the second outfit?
I honestly don't remember. I would have to dig in the archives.
After that belt, everything's a blur for sure. I'm sure. Did it turn a lot of heads?
That's the one that probably won me the second place.
That's fantastic. And that gave you the idea that, hey, I can make some bucks here. And where did it go from there, Shanell?
Well, one incentive for me was the free clothes and the free shoes, because sometimes you get to keep whatever the designer let you wear. So that was like, okay, I get free hair, free makeup, free clothes in college, and I'm poor. When you're in college, you're broke.
Absolutely. I've been in college.
Like, sign me up.
Absolutely.
But yeah, once I graduated from college, I didn't really think too much about it till about 2 years later. And then, once you hear that you're pretty enough, and then once you start thinking about your other options, you're like, I could maybe really do this. And then once I got over the fact that I'm only 5'4", okay. So once I got over the fact that I'm good enough, because I was like, I'm not tall enough to be a model. Like, I can't truly be on runway. I can't, I was telling myself all these things that I can't do.
Yeah.
And when I finally was like, why don't you just try? I mean, what's the worst they can say? No. So I tried it and I'm still doing it. So best decision I ever made. The best advice I can give is you got to take that leap.
Yeah. So what were the first designers that you were working with? Anybody interesting that you still keep in contact with, or anybody that, I mean, I always like to give credit where credit is due. And with a model, a designer is definitely hand in hand. That's what's going to help you along the way.
I've worked with a lot of Tampa designers. I know Elizabeth Carson is a really big one here in Tampa. But when I do Tampa Fashion Week, those are the biggest people I work with. So I've done Dillard. I've done Johnny West. I've done the Fit one? It's one of those the big fitness lines.
That's pretty cool.
I can't think of their name right now, but they're over an international mall. Fatabulous or Fitabulous, one of those names.
But being an athlete from high school, do you still keep in? Is that how you keep in shape? I mean, in high school, what were you running? What were you doing?
I did the 4x1, the 100, the long jump, and sometimes if we were short, I would do the 4x4.
Is running still the way to go to keep yourself in shape?
I do a lot of like walking and jogging. I don't do any heavy, hardcore working out, if I'm honest, because I feel like I already look so muscular.
Yeah, I mean, some girls would say, "Hey, I don't want to get too muscular," but really, muscles is where it's at. I mean, for a lot of things, it makes having a certain body type. It makes the clothes fit properly. It's what designers are looking for. Whether you're 5'9" or 5'4", you have to have a certain frame for that designer's clothes to fit properly.
Oh, absolutely.
Have you ever had problems where a designer says, "Ooh, that's not the right, I need somebody different, of a different height or a different size"? Or have you ever had that kind of interaction?
So what normally happens is you go to a casting call, and it's normally between 50 to 100 or more girls, and you don't even really have to go through that, like them denying you head on. Normally it's like, okay, we'll give you a call or email if we wanted you. So it's not like they're literally going, yes, no. I mean, sometimes, yeah, like hair shows, they do that.
Yeah, but that's got to be so hard. You go to this casting call.
They're literally in your hair, like, oh, sorry, we're not going to be able to use you today.
Wow. And you've just wasted a whole day. trying to get some work. Is that
It takes
heartbreaking?
about an hour. A casting call normally takes about an hour.
Is that heartbreaking? I mean, do you feel like, oh, you should have gotten it? Maybe you shouldn't have. Uh-oh, you flipped sideways on me.
Yeah, hold on.
There you are. You flipped right now.
Back. Okay.
Now, for anybody that's watching that's listening to the audio version, I encourage you to check out the video version. That way you can see Shanell, the model, Shanell Williams.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, the video version will be out there probably by tomorrow, but the audio version will be out there this evening. I don't even know why I'm saying that. People that are listening to this is way after I've already put it out there. But Shanell, I mean, continuing on, you're teaching people about how you got to where you are. It's not, yes, having the looks is one thing, but there's a lot of work to it. You have to take the steps. It's not like somebody's gonna be going down in the mall and saying, you, I want you as my model.
Yeah. You have to go definitely looking for not. Yeah, I mean, how are they going to know to find you if you're not in the system, if you're not putting yourself out there? They don't know you exist. Mm-hmm. They have no clue. So, yeah, you definitely have to put yourself out there. You have to do a lot of research, looking at different casting calls that are out there.
How do you find those?
Model Mayhem is a good one. I like to suggest that one.
What do you, modelmayhem.com maybe? Or on
yes, modelmayhem.com.
Okay. How did you find that? Profile. How did you find that?
A photographer friend told me. You got to start asking around.
That's cool.
You got to ask around.
Now, do you have to have pictures made? Do you have to have some professional shots made?
I mean, you could use your phone, but eventually you absolutely will need professional pictures.
And do you have a portfolio? When you go to one of these casting calls, here's a book full of pictures. Is it still like that? Or is it like a phone? Is it digital now?
They're not on digital yet. It's mainly, and it's not really, you're necessarily bringing a full portfolio, but you always either need a picture of your headshot or you need like a picture of all of your multiple pictures on one sheet. So it's like a resume of pictures. Yeah. One sheet, and that's it.
Any models that I've talked to before, it seems like a lot of times their significant other is a photographer. It works out that way.
I know a few people like that. I do.
And it's very symbiotic because, model and a photographer, it can be very intimate. So it could be embarrassing in some respects if you're doing some kind of some different kinds of modeling. So it's good if you get to know that photographer and you trust that photographer, whether you're involved with them intimately or not. It becomes a symbiotic relationship, model and photographer. I could see that. I could see that a lot. Now, are you looking to parlay this into? I mean, where do you want this modeling career to go? I mean, where has it gone up till now? From that very first runway, what's the progression up till now?
Good question. Mm-hmm. So, I've done a Disney. I do a lot of. I seem to get a lot of lifestyle photo shoots, which is where you'll be. Maybe it'll be for Olive Garden. I've done Olive Garden before. I've done Red Lobster. I've done Disney. That one seems to circulate the internet, and I get people all the time. Girl, I see you.
And it's like you're pretending to eat at the Olive Garden, or maybe
exactly.
Okay, exactly. And people got to know that that's modeling. It's not just the Sears catalog where the guy's going like this.
Right.
I remember that growing up. Whenever the catalog would come from my mom, I would look through, and it's a guy playing tennis. Or a girl doing one of these.
Thinking as a child, like this is a paid, model or actor.
Yeah, that's not all that modeling is. If you want to be a model, you could be a model for anything. Even this look, somebody wants this look. I need an old fat guy. Yeah, I can do that.
Absolutely. Anybody can do it. Don't limit yourself. But you got to be passionate about it, and you got to be hungry for it. But that's with anything. That's with whatever you want to do. You can't just wake up and be like, oh, I think I could do this, and be at home watching a movie. Like, no, you gotta. There's been many a time I've had to drive an hour and I was there for 15 minutes for them to not even call me back. Like there's been plenty of times I showed up for an audition and they didn't book me. But it only takes that one booking and you're good. It was worth it.
That was going to be my next question. What is it that keeps you going? It's that one booking, that one out of 3, 1 out of 4. I mean, what's the percentage that has to keep you going?
So I get a lot of small gigs, which, those keep me afloat.
Yes.
Like I have a small one actually on Monday. I haven't worked in about, with COVID going on, I haven't done any bookings in 3 months now, I guess. But yeah, and you got to have your money ready for times like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how are you surviving? Are you running through your savings on this one, or did you have to find a Joe job?
Definitely on my savings. Wow. And I have a little part-time assistant job that I do twice a week.
Yeah, but still, I mean, at least you got that to kind of keep you going a little bit.
Yeah, you got to have something for sure.
Yeah, and that also says a lot about you. You're not afraid to take a job to make a living. Even if this career is not working out right now, you'll go over there. You won't stop. You'll keep hustling. You'll keep going.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're a survivor. That's great. That's fantastic. I'm enjoying this. I'm really enjoying learning more about you. And okay, so you've done some of the, and when you said the small stuff, I liken that to like a character actor in a movie. Character actor in a movie will work all the time. That big star, yeah, he makes $10 million or $20 million per movie, but this one time. A character actor will make little money all the time, working all the time. And that's what you're doing with your Olive Garden, with your with your Dillard's, and with your, different stuff that's local and Disney. What did you do for Disney?
That was that's kind of considered a lifestyle shoot. So it was a photo shoot, and it was just they were advertising their new Bella collection.
Oh, cool.
So it was pretty much like a clothing line photo shoot. And it was this one picture where I was holding the Mickey ears. And that one's like circulating all over social media.
That's fantastic. So, are people recognizing you? You said that they were, but are a lot of people recognizing you?
Anybody that sees it, they're like, is that
you? That's cool. I mean, the ones that really count are your family and friends. When they recognize you, that's the ones that you, oh yeah, that's me. Has your family and friends seen any of it?
Oh yeah, I send them anything big I do. I send it to them.
What do they think?
Oh, they're always excited.
Yeah.
The Steve Harvey show once. I did the Hey Steve segment where you ask him a question.
So cool. What was the question?
I think it was like, my cousin has a guy that she wants, but he doesn't want her.
I like Steve Harvey. He's great. He's great.
I remember that whole process because I was going to LA. This was my first time going to LA for 5 days. And I was like, I want to make the best of this trip. I didn't have nothing planned. I had booked my flight. I was like, I'm just going to go to LA. I ended up having 2 photo shoots and ended up on the Steve show. I mean,
wow.
It was like everything I did just out of the spur of the moment turned into such a blessing. And it was like, I got to keep going.
You weren't going to LA for anything specific? You just went to go see what it was?
Yep. I didn't have anything on my schedule.
That's fantastic. See, if you want it, you go get it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's definitely the place to be. If you want to be in any kind of, if you want to see the beautiful people, be one of the beautiful people, you go to LA. You're already in Florida. That's a lot of sun and fun and a lot of beautiful people as well. But I mean, and I know there's beautiful people all over the world, but the ones that really strive to be in the entertainment field, to be a part of it all. Yeah. You went to Hollywood. That's fantastic. Yeah. And you ended up on the Steve Harvey show. You can do a whole lot worse than that. That's fantastic. I like that guy. No, man. Did you get to touch the mustache? Did you get to talk to him? Was it face to face, or was it video?
Oh no, the whole time we were in the back getting ready. So like I was doing hair and makeup, he was doing hair and makeup. Yeah, we didn't even see each other till we were on the show.
Oh, okay. So, but you did have face-to-face interaction on the show.
Yeah. You can YouTube it.
Oh, that's so cool. See, that's great. That's great. I mean, you know that has to make you want to keep going as well. You get involved in
Right,
stuff like that. You see someone who's
right.
already made it, and someone like Steve Harvey that's made it. He's you got to consider him great. He's great, and you have that to look forward to. Hey, I can I've touched a bit of that greatness. I can get that greatness if I work hard enough for it.
And you gotta surround yourself with like-minded people.
Yeah.
You gotta have people who are on the same thing that you're on. Because if you have somebody who's like, oh, I just, if me being a model, I can never have a full-time job, which is why I quit my full-time job because they literally call you at the drop of a hat. They're like, hey, can you be available tomorrow morning? And it's like 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And you're like, you mean like tomorrow morning? Okay.
Yeah, and you realize that you have to punch in at 9 o'clock for that.
Right. You
For
can't
that,
call your job and be like, oh, I just got this gig. Can I miss work? They're gonna be like, oh, that's the point.
yeah, they're going to understand that maybe one, maybe two times, and that's it.
Right.
I've had
That's
jobs
it.
to where they didn't fit the schedule that I had for the DJ thing. When I'm DJing parties every night, I can't have a job in the daytime that wants me to work late at night. They have to
Right.
work with your schedule. So yeah, and you're betting on yourself. You are
Yeah.
are throwing everything out and saying this modeling is the way to go. And I think
Yeah.
you can do more than modeling. And modeling is a very broad spectrum of things. You've told me about the small stuff that you can do, and you've told me about the bigger stuff that you can do. There's so many different things in between in that
Yeah, you
spectrum.
can't just put yourself in a box.
Yeah.
You can't just, oh, I can only do runway, or I've done runway. I love runway. Runway is one of my favorite things. But I'm also not going to tell that commercial, oh, I can't show up today because I'm only a runway model. Like, no, you just gotta, it all fits an actress, a model, it all goes hand in hand. Like, sometimes they might ask you to say 5 lines. You gotta say them 5 lines. And at that moment, you're an actress or an actor.
Wow. Have you been involved in that? Did you do those 5 lines?
Well, I had an Olive Garden shoot, and it was for their new meatball pizza bowl. That's what it was.
Excellent. And what did you play?
I was just one of the girls sitting at the table, and we were all just like, I love this meatball pizza roll. Like,
You had a line in a commercial. What?
I had a line.
That's fantastic. I mean, I don't know how you get involved with SAG or any of these other acting gigs, but from what I understand, you have to say a line in a movie or say a line somewhere. Can you be sponsored in SAG for saying a line in a commercial? I don't know. Have you ever thought of it?
I'm not SAG yet, but what happens is that when they send the casting, they'll say SAG available or SAG credentials or something like that. And that's how you get into it. So when you book that gig, then you become SAG.
That's cool. Well, in your 6 to 8 years,
you can pay their way into it.
Oh, okay. In your 6 to 8 years of modeling, have you had an agent the whole time, or did you get an agent? Or how do you?
I've had an agent the entire time.
Wow, and that's who gets you bookings?
You have to have some type of agent because you can do all the research you want trying to find a gig, but there's gigs that they only ask your agent, do you have somebody who fits this bill? And they don't even release that to the public. So you don't want to block yourself from those opportunities.
Okay, so there is still a reason to have an agent. There's a lot of people that are saying independent is the way to go in many respects. The independent artists that are playing music and the independent film industry, but there's no independent modeling. You definitely need somebody to be backing you up. Is it easier that way?
If you're one of those people who maybe live in New York and you're constantly they're constantly having casting calls, then yes, maybe you can be independent. But even still, when you get to a certain level, you're going to want to sign with Wilhelmina or one of those big agencies.
So you got to that level, like pretty straight up. pretty soon after you got out of the Coca-Cola business, after you got out of that Joe job. How long were you modeling while you were doing Coca-Cola, and then eventually
No,
the two things kind of no, you had to give up
no.
one to go for the other.
Yeah.
Wow, you
I know
really
people who do different acting gigs, and on their off days they go to casting calls, but they're still limiting themselves because they can't go to the one that was on Monday, but they can go to the one that was on Tuesday.
yeah. The cliche is I'm an actress, but she's the server at your local restaurant.
Right.
You are an actor, but you have to keep this job because acting isn't paying all the bills yet.
Yeah.
But modeling, if you've gone head first into it, and it is paying all the bills, from what I can see, you're making a living. Is it something that you can see yourself doing for quite a bit of time? And then what do you want it to parlay into?
I think eventually you do have to get something else because you just at some point you're like, okay, I'm tired of running to these auditions. Like, if you want to settle down and have a family, it's kind of hard to do that and modeling. Like, I don't have any kids yet, so I think number one, I can't really, I won't have a lot of gigs if I'm pregnant.
I guess there's a certain kind of model that does that kind of modeling,
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I might get maybe one or two, pregnant gigs out of the year,
maternity
but
wear, yeah.
I can't pay my bills on that. So, if I ever get to the point where I want to have a family or kids, I'm going to have to at least take a break from it.
Yeah.
But actually right now I'm in the process of planning a class. So I want to teach, other aspiring models how to get into modeling, it kind of skip what I had to go through, skip the research part.
Excellent.
Like, okay, here's the website you can go to, here are the people you can talk to, like just give them the tools to get where they want to be. So that's one avenue I'm taking. And actually on August 1st, I'm opening a women's resale fashion store.
Yes.
So, that's going to be another avenue I'm taking. I'm not going to ever stop modeling.
No, I don't see why you would. That's fantastic. I mean, there's the models you see. I mean, Kim Kardashian's not stopping anytime soon, and Cindy Crawford's still out there, and somebody, Tyra Banks is still out there. I don't see them stopping ever,
Yeah.
And then they parlayed that modeling into something else.
Point, yeah.
And that's what you're doing.
Yeah. At some point, you have to start looking at different ways to maximize what you've been doing and maximize your income, because you know what they say, every billionaire or millionaire has 7 means of income. So to get to that level, you got to start getting some other things going.
That's right. You're thinking big and you're being big, but you're still staying within the fashion industry. Have you ever studied how in any of your studying, and do you study fashion at all, or do you study what other avenues have you studied besides the English?
So I haven't necessarily studied like fashion or anything, but I study in the aspects of how do these professional models pose. I'm looking at commercials, trying to figure out, well, I wonder why they booked her for that gig. Like, what did she do different? Sometimes it literally could just be a look. Sometimes it could be nothing. It has nothing to do with you. You just didn't fit the look that they were looking for. But sometimes it could be maybe your facial expression wasn't as animated as they would have liked. And that's one thing that I've learned about like any type of commercials. They're very animated people. Like they're very good at changing their facial expression, which, I might have been doing this for 6 years, but I could definitely get better at that.
Yeah,
I'm kind of more serious and cute and sexy, but what about the silly face? What about, the geek face? You just gotta be well rounded.
Yeah, you're not afraid to explore all that. You're funny when you said something about we're looking at models. Why, when you look at commercials, you look at why the model is like that. Before I got into broadcasting, I listened to commercials a whole lot different. And now that I listen to the commercials, I know about the inflection that you have to put on your voice whenever you're doing a commercial for something. You have to make sure that you're interesting, and you're doing the same thing with your face and your actions and the way you position your body. You're making yourself interesting to grab a hold of the audience to sell that product that you're trying to sell. That's what people are looking for. That's excellent.
Yeah.
So how much of that Olive Garden you think you've sold? No, I'm kidding.
I know, right? How many people got one? I know I went and got one after that.
That's fantastic. I mean, and okay, for commercials, I've heard that it can be very lucrative if you get a national commercial. But are local commercials? Do you get residuals every time they play? Or is that how you make some money? That's fantastic.
I have personally booked the ones where I'm still getting a check.
Okay.
Normally it's like a one and done type of check for me.
Got it.
You would have to get like a Sprite commercial, or a Coca-Cola, or one of those that are constantly playing to get those residuals. But yeah, definitely it could be a situation like that.
All right, everybody, she's open to that. She's open to having one of these national commercials where she opens up a can of soda and hands it to a guy and says, "Here, this is love." Bam! She's a millionaire.
There you go.
That's fantastic.
There you go.
All right, so you're wanting to parlay this the modeling career. It's going to be going into a clothing store now, a resale clothing store, and then it's opening to another avenue. Well, I mean, what else do you want out of life after this? Well, either during or after this modeling career is done. Where do you see yourself?
At one point, I definitely, maybe have a kid or a husband. When it comes, it comes. Before, I was definitely not trying to have that. But, now that I feel like I'm kind of in a place where I can do that, I'm okay with it now. So, who knows what's in the future, but I hope a lot of success. I hope a good family unit.
Now that Shanell, the model, has got her career in place and she's starting to see where the avenues are going, it's time for love. Yay!
Yes. I need to be on that show. Shanell finds love.
Oh, that's it. You're pitching it right now. Hey, anybody else, you cannot steal that. She just pitched it. It's in the universe now. I can see it. It's coming. The next time you go to LA. No, what made you go to LA the first time, and how long after that first modeling stuff? I mean, was it 2 years ago, 8 years ago? How long ago did you go to LA that first time?
LA, I think, was 3 years ago.
Wow.
And I originally was going to move to LA.
Okay.
So I gave myself a year. I was like, I'm going to move to LA. I'm going to go out there and grind it because I know I can make it. But then I talked to my agent, and my agent was like, do you know how many homeless people are there doing the same thing? She was like, you have a better chance of making it not be there.
Yeah, you'd be the big fish in the little pond rather than the little fish in the big pond. I think your agent is steering you the right way. I mean, I know the agent's out to make some money too, and she sees that you're the ability to get her a little cash in her pocket as well. But that's fantastic. I mean, I'm glad that you have an agent that's helping you, steering you the right way. Because I've heard horror stories of agents just having a whole stable full of models or actors or musicians, and then they don't give them anything. They pretty much just take they take a little bit from that one, a little bit from that one, a little bit from that one, and they have a lot, and the musician has nothing, or the model has nothing. I'm glad that you're not getting steered that way. You've had good experiences. Yay. So I mean, what's on the horizon? Have you been able to break out a little bit during this quarantine that we're in?
I just started doing some photo shoots, but very sparingly. Not really doing too much. Honestly, this whole COVID time, I've been planning my store.
Very good.
I wouldn't have had time before. Because before COVID started too, another way I was making modeling money, which was actually a lot of the way I was in between, the bigger gigs. I was doing a lot of promotional modeling.
Excellent. Like what?
And for those that don't know what that is, you're representing a liquor brand or you're representing a clothing brand, and they're like, we'll pay you to go to the club tonight and give out shots. I did a lot of that.
That's excellent. I worked on the radio down in Miami, and we had a lot of times.
Oh, are we frozen?
No, you're there. I can see you. But no. Did I freeze on you? Okay, you still there?
Okay, you were frozen a little bit.
All right. Hey,
yeah.
But no, I remember when I worked on the radio, we had, the Budweiser girls and the Coors girls, and we had a lot of different, when I was working at the Homestead Miami Speedway, we had some NASCAR girls that would run around, and it was, that's definitely a modeling gig, and it was fantastic to see them running around. They're always so happy, smiling and handing out pamphlets or whatever, hats, but that's definitely a job, a way to pay the bills. No job too small, no job too big. I mean, there has to be stuff that you go, and you did allude to that in the beginning, that there's stuff that looks shady, and that's usually the stuff that's out of town, that you're not familiar with those people. Do you always have the agent take a look over it whenever something like that happens?
I'm pretty good at determining it myself now. So I don't ask my agent if it's good or not. I'm normally just like, if I'm questionable, I have a manager as well.
Very
so good. If it's questionable, I'll send it to him, and I'm like, what do you think?
Wow, an agent and a manager. I mean, I don't know the difference between the two. What does an agent do that a manager doesn't, or a manager do that
a manager is a lot more personable. So like they can go to your photo shoots with you. They're like more on the scene with you. Your agent, they are mainly talking to the casting directors for you, doing the communication for that and booking the gig. You never see some of your agents sometimes. There's one agency, I've never met any of them. Okay. All I do is email them.
Now, do you have them go through your manager, or do they go straight to you?
No, my manager does all of my freelance work.
Very cool.
All of my independent work, and then the agents handle the bigger stuff.
And do you have a specific photographer that you work with, or do you work with several?
I work with several, but I have my favorite two.
Give credit where credit is due. That's one of the things I like to do with this, is promote people. I promote everybody. And if you have people that you work with that you can recommend, do it. Give credit where credit is due. Shanell.
Yeah. His name on Instagram is at @Irabat _photographer, I believe it is. I always tag all of my photographers in every picture that I take. I tag anybody that worked with me on that shoot. Because like you said, I want to give credit where credit is due. I love doing a lot of my boudoir photo shoots with him. He's really good at capturing that. And then I have a female photographer. Her Instagram is focal_vibe. And I like to just do my early stuff with her. So the one in my big green dress, I did with her. And then I had the tub photo. Did you see that one when I had on the yellow bathing suit in the milk tub?
Yes. That's pretty recent. Now, the other thing that I've noticed on your Instagram is you have a lot of inspirational sayings. That's where what you used your Instagram. It's not just showing you off, which definitely it promotes you, but you also give a lot of positive sayings. Is that something you've always done?
No. So I actually started doing that about a year ago. Before that, I really wasn't focused on my Instagram. I was more so focused on actually booking gigs.
Right.
But I was honestly, at the end of the day, you need social media as a model. And there are plenty of times they ask you what's your Instagram? And now more so than ever.
Yeah.
What's your Instagram? How many followers you have? Because they want to either see if you can be an influencer or see how they can use your page. So, that's becoming a lot of modeling now too, Instagram.
How do you feel about that? Because it used to be an actor just had to be a good actor. A model just had to be a good model. Now it's how many followers you got on Twitter. Why?
Exactly.
Why?
Yep.
I'm working on my craft. I'm working on this.
Right.
I don't
have time to be sitting up here planning posts.
Right.
But that's what I used to think. But now I've started, over the past year, I've started to focus on my page. And before it was just all pictures of me. And I was like, you know what? If I'm going to make my page appeasing, I also want it to be positive.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't want you to just be like, oh, this is a sexy girl. I also want to be like, you know what? When I look at her pictures, I'm motivated.
No, it definitely
when I
does.
Page, I'm motivated to do something else. I want to go that painting I've been working on for a year. I want to go finish it.
No, it definitely does. And the way you have it laid out, it just shows it's not all you. It is a lot of positive thinking. But you say that's not always been your jam. Have you had problems where you're like, man, I'm feeling down in the dumps, and you just had to have a good positive message come out? Who gave you that first positive message to keep you going when you were down in the dumps?
Honestly, I've always been a look at the brighter side of the situation type of person. And I think I got that because, my mom had me when she was young. So I didn't really have, maybe that support that I would have liked. So it was like, you got to go do it for yourself because nobody else is going to do it for you. And that's what made me go hard in high school to get that 0.2. That's what made me go to college and get that degree. Even if I never used it, at least I had it.
Oh, you're using it. You're using it. You use it every day. Just making you a smart person to make sure that people aren't walking all over you. You are getting everything you want out of life. You're working hard for it. That's fantastic. I could see you getting whatever you want. That clothing store. I mean, how far along is it? Is there a place, a location for it, or how far have you got?
I have a location, and I open up August 1st.
Man,
it's over by if you're in the Tampa area, it's by USF. So it's about 10 minutes from the University of South Florida.
Do you have the address yet?
I do. It's 13112 North Florida Avenue.
And what's the name of the place?
Closet of Classe.
Closet of Classe. Oh, okay. That's what I saw coming down your feed there. Okay. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I just announced it yesterday, so this show was right on time.
Oh, that's beautiful. I'm so glad that we're on the ground floor finding out more about you. Shanell, the model, but so much more. Shanell Williams, I know that's you're out there. Shanell Classe.
Classe. I've been using Classe for a long time because I just feel like it represents a lot of who I am. Like, I love to be sexy, but also classy at the same time. Like, you'll probably never see me do a nude photo shoot. I might do implied, but never full nude or anything raunchy, because that's just not who I am. And that's not who I don't want other girls that are aspiring to be models to think that's what they have to do. You see a lot of that on social media.
Right.
Girls feeling like they have to be naked or they have to, shake their ass in the camera or, just do very sexual things. And it's like, I mean, that'll only get you so far. But what happens when you're not as sexy anymore? What are you going to do then?
No, you have to make your choices. You have to draw your lines. I mean, there's a place for those people. I'm not going to judge the people that do that. They're free to do as they wish. But you certainly have your photographer that you're comfortable with. You mentioned that you do boudoir with him, and I'm glad that you have that relationship because a lot of people would be embarrassed. I talked to a photographer here in town. She does boudoir, and she showed me, we did a podcast and she showed me all the different scenes that she's made in her back room. and people are very comfortable, but when they come in, they're so timid. Ooh, I don't know if I can do this. And most of the ladies are there to do something special for their husbands, and you
Mhm.
develop that relationship with people. But you, as a model, you're selling these clothes, you're selling yourself, your image,
Mhm.
to help people to buy products. It's a
Mhm.
certain, it's a certain way of life and a certain thing. And now you're going to be selling your own products, your own clothes. Where are you getting the clothes? Is it a consignment shop type of thing, or is it stuff
Oh, it's almost like consignment, but it's resale. So I'm buying it directly. Consignment is where it is other people's, lightly used clothes. But consignment is where, people will keep their clothes in the store, and if it doesn't sell, they can take it back home. But I'm buying it outright. Once it's there, it's mine. I don't have to deal with the customer anymore. So it's if you've ever heard of Plato's Closet, it's
I
very
have.
similar to that.
So I mean, you have to be very discerning when you buy these clothes. You have to make sure that you're getting some high quality clothes, or else you're going to be stuck with these clothes. So you
Yeah.
have that feeling that you could buy the right clothes, the right merchandise, the pieces.
I have been a budget shopper my whole life. I've never been one to spend $100 on a shirt or I've never spent a lot of money on clothes, and I've always felt like I've been able to look good doing it.
It makes sense.
You don't have to have a lot of money as a female to look fashionable. So I've just thought about all the stuff I've bought for maybe $3 that looked like it was worth $20 and stuff like that. And so I was like, I know I'm not the only girl out there who wants to go shopping on a budget and look good. And so I was like, and I don't care about a name brand. I don't care at all. Cute is cute.
Yeah.
So I was like, why not create a store where women can go, and how are you feeling today? Do you feel like you want to be classy? Do you feel like you want to go to the club? Like, I'm going to have a look for all of that.
That's
And I'm even
fantastic.
planning on having a fashion stylist on the weekends where you can make appointments with. If you don't even know your style yet, they can help you.
And you're going to help people shop. You're going to take them. How often are you going to be in the store? Do you plan, because you have many irons in the fire? You're going to have to hire somebody to help you out. I mean,
Oh, I'm definitely having employees.
yeah, because you're going to be out doing these, fabulous modeling gigs and maybe
Yeah.
acting as well. So you
Mhm.
can't be stuck in the store all the time, even though the store becomes one of your passions. But do you have people
Yeah.
in mind already? I mean, August 1st is coming soon.
Yeah. I plan to be there in the beginning a lot. If not every day, every other day. But eventually the goal will be to have somebody else run the store.
That's
And I maybe
fantastic.
check in once a month.
All right, Shanell Classe, Shanell the model. I like it. All right, I know I've taken a lot of your time, and we've talked about a lot of things. And to give the people an idea of how to get a hold of you, I know you've pretty much branded Shanell the model. If you look up Shanell the model, all one word, pretty much you're going to find you everywhere.
You can, yeah, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter with just Shanell the model with an S, not a C.
Yes.
And now you can follow me on my new page, my clothing store, Closet of Classe. So class with an E at the end.
Excellent.
And yeah, I always like to make it simple for people to find me. I don't want to have any underscores or anything like that. Just straight my name.
Yeah, brand it. That's a very important thing in your business,
Yeah.
in your industry, in really any industry. Branding is very proper because how else are they going to find you if you have underscores and periods
Right.
and little asterisks everywhere? No, make it simple. Shanell, the model, with
That's
with
it.
an S, not a C. I'll
Right.
put that in the show notes for sure so people can find it. All right.
Yeah. So if you're looking for some positive quotes, some cute pictures, follow me.
Do it. Do it. Get that girl some extra followers. That way, that way she could be an influencer and she'll get more jobs
There
too.
you go. Let's get to 10K.
Yeah. All right. I usually finish these things off with last words for the people. Shanell, I mean, it could be something that you heard when you were small, or some words to live by that you've heard your whole life, or it could be just whatever pops into your head at this moment in time. Shanell Classe, Shanell the model. Last words for the people.
I just always say, which I said it earlier, the worst they can say is no. So always follow your dreams and don't think you can't do it.
Well, there you have it, party people. Shanell Classe, Shanell the model. Oh, that's fantastic. Hey, not just a beautiful face. She also put some knowledge in that noggin. She's got a degree in English. Yeah, I think the people need to learn English. That's a very important subject to learn, especially if you're living here in the USA. I mean, most people speak English. Now, it's good to learn a second language as well. But my goodness, she 4.2 GPA, impressive. And I know I mentioned it with her while we were talking. We got to do something about the education here in this country. Can I get a little political here? If you got a 4.2 as you're coming out of high school, colleges should be lining up like you were the quarterback in the best quarterback in high school. They should be lining up. You have a 4.2 GPA. They should be opening every door just for you. I mean, if you want to go to college. If you don't want to go to college and you just want to get into the workforce, hey, more power to you. Do it. But you should have no problem getting into school. Come on. Put on the waiting list at 4.2? That's just silly. I'm so glad that she knew somebody who was at FSU that helped her get in. But my goodness, with a 4.2, you should just automatically, yeah, every school should be saying, yeah, we want that person. They took the time to open up books and learn all the stuff that's in the books, and not just learn, but also, have able to spout the knowledge back out on tests. And you took that time. Oh my goodness. But anyway, thank you so much, Shanell the model. I know that Shanell the model is now putting you in a tiny box. You're also Shanell the actress, Shanell the entrepreneur, the store owner. Coming soon, August 1st. Congratulations on the new store. Yes, I'm so excited for you, and I can see nothing but good things. You put your mind to it, and I know that now you got the mindset that you're looking for love. So love is out there, and then perhaps children. Hey, coming soon. All right. Thank you, Shanell the model, for being on the What Makes You Famous podcast. If you'd like to tell your story, yes, I'm talking to you. If you'd like to tell your story, I encourage you to give me a call at 501-470-6386 or email info@radiowhat.com. That's it for this edition of What Makes You Famous. It's Keys Dan, radiowhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.